Creating a resume with no experience is a pain in the neck. There's just this giant gap in the middle of your resume where your work experience should be. So what can you do instead? Well, don't sweat it. Creating a resume with no experience is easier than you'd think. And in this video, we are going to teach you exactly how to do it.
Career Advice by Novoresume.
Let's take this step by step. For a stellar, no experience resume, first, you need to choose a resume format. The format you choose will define your resume's layout, so it's crucial to get that right if you want to grab the hiring manager's attention right away. For a resume with no experience, we recommend you use the reverse chronological resume format. The reverse chronological format is the most popular format out there, and it's a recruiter's favorite. The way it works is that you start with your most recent experiences and achievements at the top, and then move backwards in time as you continue. Do you want to make your life easier? Just head over to novoresume.com and pick one of our tried and tested reverse chronological resume templates. It's 100% free and you can start creating your resume as you watch this video. Now that you've picked your template, I'm going to walk you through every must-have section in your resume and teach you how to make it as compelling as possible. Let's start with your resume's header, made up of contact information section and a resume objective. Your contact information section should include your first name and your last name, a professional email address. It should be something like your firstname.lastname@gmail.com, your phone number, your general location. Here, there's no need to specify more than your city and state or country. And finally, any relevant social media or personal website. For example, an updated LinkedIn profile or a portfolio website, depending on the job you're applying for. You need to make sure all the contact information you provide is accurate and professional. Using an email you created back when you were really into playing online games can leave a wrong impression. After your contact information, it's time to create your resume objective. Adding this short paragraph to the top of your resume shows the hiring manager you're a relevant candidate from the get-go. To do it right, your resume objective should summarize your career aspirations and main skill, mention your education, and highlight how you can benefit the company you're applying for. And here's an example. As you can see, Michael is a recent business and marketing graduate. He's added his contact information, which includes a professional email address, a phone number, his location, and a link to his LinkedIn profile. He's also included a resume objective, where he summarizes his career aspirations, looking to join a startup as a marketing assistant or intern, as well as his most relevant soft and hard skills, organization and digital marketing. This is just enough information for the hiring manager to consider Michael as a candidate and read the rest of his resume. With this part sorted, it's time to work on your education section. As a candidate with no professional experience, your education is your next best chance to shine and show the hiring manager you have the skills and knowledge to land the position. And in this order, here's what your education section should include. Your most recent educational experience from most to least recent, your degree, including the level of education and the exact name of your major, then the name of the institution you attended, and the years you attended. You can also add a city or country it is based in if it's not well known, but this is optional. The months are optional, but there's no need to specify the exact dates. Then in the description of your education, you can add any information that's relevant to the job you're applying for, such as your GPA, honors, relevant coursework, or exchange programs. And don't mention your high school education if you have a college or university degree. The information you list under educational section is meant to add value to your resume. So don't list your GPA if it's anything below 3.5. It's not that impressive and the hiring manager won't care.
I don't care. Doesn't make any sense. Too bad.
You shouldn't include courses that have nothing to do with the position you're applying for as well. Your photography class doesn't count for much when you're applying for a business internship at a company. But your business communications class does. Let's take a look at an example. Here's a college graduate example. This one has everything I mentioned so far, including the high GPA, an exchange program, etc. But if you're currently a student, you can just specify your education is ongoing. Also a tip you can use. If your university is prestigious, you can put its name before the name of your degree. These will catch the recruiter's attention faster. And this same advice so far goes for high school graduates as well. Now, if you've dropped out of university, you can still add the experience to your education section. Even a half-finished degree is better than none. But there's no point of mentioning if you spend less than a year pursuing it. Moving on, the third most important section to think about is your skills section. No resume is complete without a skills section. Your skills are divided into two types, soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills include things like communication, organization, and time management, while hard skills include things like computer proficiency, math, or accounting. While both sets of skills are important, when you don't have work experience, you should add more hard skills to your resume. One thing to keep in mind, you want your skills to set you apart from the piles of resume the hiring manager is going through. So don't just use buzzwords you can't actually back up. Focus on hard skills that make you the right candidate and you can back up with actual proof. First, check the job ad you're applying for. Once you've identified the skills the hiring manager is looking for, add these ones that you possess to your resume. Here's how your skills section should look once you're done. Now, it's time to fill in the rest of your resume. Here are some additional sections that can make up for your lack of experience. Internships, extracurricular activities you've done during your education, your experience with volunteering, and any personal projects you've worked on. Internships are great when you don't have work experience. So this section should come right after your education and skills section. If you've done an internship that's relevant to the job you're applying for, that's even better. And it will prove to HR you already have the basic knowledge and skills required for the position. Let's check out the internship section on this resume example. Michael starts off by listing his exact internship title and role. So instead of just writing intern, he specifies that he interned with the sales and marketing department. Then he adds the company name and location and the duration of the internship written in the month/year format. And most importantly, he's listed some responsibilities and achievements from the internship in bullet points. Recruiters love achievements over responsibilities. And one last thing about the internship section. Tailor the internship to the job you're applying for as much as possible. Let's look at an example of this. In the first example, you see responsibilities and achievements related to social media since it's related to the position of a social media assistant. But in a second example, you're emphasizing your writing experience with the same internship. As a content writer, your experience managing the company's social media account isn't as important. You've definitely heard it before, and it's true. Extracurricular activities do look great on your resume.
So many activities!
Do step class?
While a GPA can show you're good at studying, activities related to school clubs and organization emphasize your soft skills. These include qualities like time management, event organization, and teamwork, to name just a few. So here's how you should list these on your resume. Create a section titled Extracurricular Activities, add the name of the organization or team you're part of, specify your role as part of the group, add the period you spend there, and include any noteworthy awards or achievements. Simple, right? Next comes volunteer experience. This is always a great section to add since it shows your commitment to more than just profit. Volunteering requires dedication and a passion for what you're doing. So whatever your experience is, you can add it. Here's how. Make a separate section titled Volunteering Experience, name the organization you volunteered as part of, then the location you volunteered at, specify when you volunteered there, and finish by including any relevant tasks or achievements. The last section I'm going to tell you about is the projects section. Project. Sounds vague, right? And it can be. A project can be anything that you invest your time and effort in, so long as it's relevant to the job you're applying for. You can add anything you worked on during your education, such as a mock website for your web design class or research you did for your graduation thesis. You can also add personal projects, such as a fashion blog you curate or an online design you worked on with friends. Put your projects down following this formula. First, create a section titled Projects. Then add the specific projects starting with a name. Specify what type of project it was, such as a capstone project or a research project. Add what organization it was related to, such as your school or an internship program. Add the project's period. Then you can add relevant responsibilities and achievements. And here are some examples on the screen. If your project includes a final product, you can add the link somewhere so the hiring manager can see it. For example, if you're a software developer, you can add a link to your GitHub profile.
Unbelievable. A hacker.
And that's the gist of what your resume should contain. There are a few other sections you can add if you have extra space. Anything to make you look even cooler than you already are. Some sections to consider are hobbies and interests, which can show your passion for the industry you're applying to. Your language proficiency, if you speak more than one language. Just be honest here. Exaggerating your fluency never ends well. And you can also add some awards and certifications. Maybe you took an online course or won a writing competition. No harm in adding that to your resume. And that's it. You just learned the formula for writing a great no work experience resume. If you need any more inspiration, there are tons of free templates and examples on our website that can help you on your career journey. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this and go to our career blog for more advice. I've been your host, Andre. Thanks for watching.
Career Advice by Novoresume.
Oh no.
Don't break it.